Verse 834. Otherness is not otherness, so is bothness not bothness. To be is not to be attached to. There is neither a non-being nor the Samskrita. Well, obviously set you to scratching your head, but again, with many of these verses, it's directing us from there to here, here with a capital H. The here, which encompasses and embraces there. So here isn't the opposite of there. Here, with a capital H, embraces there. So let's have a look. Otherness is not otherness. In the previous verse I spoke about how consciousness projects itself away from itself. And the result of this is a particular understanding of a world out there being experienced by an individual here. That world out there, everything in it, is otherness. So the first thing we're told is otherness is not otherness. So we need to stop thinking of a world out there, stop thinking of it as other. It's a bit like a dream. A dream's got a life of its own, and yet it is not different from the dreamer. So the next phrase, so is bothness not bothness. So this bothness is including this supposed individual. There's the world out there, and there's a me here experiencing it. So this is the bothness. So we go from questioning the otherness, the other nature of the world, to questioning the notion of a me here experiencing that world. Bothness is not bothness. So we might accept that, but as the previous verse pointed out, there are seeds which get us caught up in processes, emotional involvement. These are our sensibilities. But we're told in the next phrase, to be is not to be attached to. So to be here is referring to pure being. And pure being is not getting attached to all these seeds which develop and reinforce our sensibilities. This being is actually nirvana. This sense of being is actually nirvana. I've actually come across a really nice, fresh understanding of what nirvana means. It's in this book that I recently bought. It's called The Unborn and Emancipation from the Born. It's actually a dissertation by Ron Henshaw. It's subtitled Buddhist Concepts of What is Unborn and How It May Best Be Accessed. Very intriguing. So it's a dissertation, so it's very well researched and referenced. And one of the references he gives is to a book by Bhikkhu Thanissaro, who translates nirvana as unbinding. This isn't a book called The Mind Like Fire Unbound. Sounds like it might be worth a read. The Mind Like Fire Unbound. What a wonderful title. And apparently, this is on page 16 of Ron's dissertation, apparently He bases his understanding of Nibbana as unbinding on a particular passage from Buddhaghosa's Visuddhimagga, where it is said, Nibbana is dissociated from craving. Craving serves as a joining together, a binding together. So Nibbana is the opposite. It's the opposite of being bound, being attached. And what it is, and what is being attached, it's the attention, it's our sensibilities in full sway. So to be is not to be attached to, and to be here is the realization of nirvana. It's to be unbound. And finally, in the final phrase, there is neither non-being nor the Samskrita. And the Samskrita refers to everything which we regard as a thing, basically. It means compounded things, things which are made up of other things. And when you have this understanding, it tends to go along with the idea, well, if we can find out what everything is made up of, then that would be a greater reality. And this is what happened to the early Buddhists. They got preoccupied with reducing things to their fundamental components, just as the scientists nowadays are. Somehow that's where reality lies. And the contrast with this then is the realization of nirvana, which is often understood as being blown out, as some kind of extinction, which has got nihilistic implications, which are totally missing the point. So it's best not to talk in terms of non-being. Nirvana here is contrasted with the Samskrita as non-being, but we're told there's neither non-being nor the Samskrita. So we don't get into this way of thinking. We don't get into analysing the world and positing some kind of personal extinction as the solution. We don't get into that at all. We get into the freedom of being unbound. Unbound by our sensibilities. One of the things which I got a bit critical of, there was some discussion about nirvana and what it is. There seemed to be an assumption that nirvana was some kind of experience which could be discriminated or discerned. But that presupposes that there is somebody to experience it. Although I think the author was well aware of the limitations under which he was working. He was just pulling in various scholarly threads. The thing is, there isn't anybody to experience nirvana. There's only consciousness, awakened consciousness. And when consciousness is sleeping, when it's being bound, then there's the individual and the world, with all these other things and apparent individuals going on in it. So we go beyond notions of non-being, we go beyond notions of a compounded, causally created world, and we come back to awareness, this wonderful, miraculous awareness which is always present, if unappreciated. You are aware right now, you are abiding in nirvanic awareness. It's always present. And the chances are, though, you're not appreciating it. You're not appreciating its miraculous, fundamental nature, you're not appreciating that it's the doorway to unconditional joy, to infinite happiness, to infinite light. This is why it's quite good to read these texts, because they remind us about the nature of this awareness. And I hope these videos also help in reminding you. They certainly help in reminding me.